Welcome to Take It from the Iron Woman. My name is Susanne Müller, your host and the Iron Woman. This podcast is about empowering yourself and others to make real changes in the world. You will hear from everyday, smart, sophisticated, hip people like you and me. Not everybody has to be an Iron Woman to impress the world. Together, we will learn from the sports and business leaders how you can become a more successful person as an entrepreneur or a leader. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Take your steps now. Take your big steps now. Join me on this journey to success. Take it from the Iron Woman, a very special guest today. You have to help me how to pronounce it.
Snezana?
Snezana.
It means Snow White. Snow White.
Oh, we have a special guest, Snow White, Snezana with us. She's an adventurer. And while I was waiting for her to come onto the recording, I found out we share the same birthday. So how special is that? I don't want to say too much, but she is traveling around the world. Maybe give the listeners a little glimpse into your life. When did it start? Where are you now? What is next? We all want to know everything.
I started first. Thank you for waiting me because today is my last day in Bogota. Tomorrow I'm leaving Bogota, and I had a lot of stuff to fix my bicycle, to buy something. Sorry for that. And in Colombia, I know Latino countries, people are quite relaxed. So if they say 7, it's never 7. It's like 8, 10. But I started in 2011. It was 24th of July. And I started with my ex-boyfriend. We met. That's a very interesting story. He's American. He's from Colorado, originally from California. And we met on the portal Crazy Guy on the Bike. Crazy Guy on the Bike. That's the biggest portal for cyclotouring. And one section is about looking for companies. And then I was looking for someone because I was afraid to start alone. And I didn't have any experience in traveling. And I was looking for to make team of 2, 3, 4, 5 people and to travel like 2 years around the world. That was my idea. And then people start to respond to that ad. And that was like all guys, they were, okay, long story in short, what was cheap for American and Canadian, it wasn't cheap for me. We couldn't find a solution to travel together. And then I found in my spam folder, I found mail from Brian, that's his name. And he was very short. He told me, I have a great experience. I've been cycling around the world, like not around the world, but everywhere in the world the last 10 years. And I'm also looking for someone, but I want, listen to this, I want to find a woman with whom I will make relationship and then we're going to travel around the world. I said, This guy is crazy. Crazy to find in ordinary life. You want to travel the world. It's crazy. But he put like here, it's link for my photos. And then I click on it and then I realized, okay, maybe it's not so crazy. So then we start mailing and then Skype and how it's going usually when you meet someone online. And in March 2011, he came to Belgrade, what is capital city of Serbia, where I live. And we did a test tour in Sicily, in Italy, like 1 month tour. And we fall in love and blah, blah. And then we decide to start together. And he flew in June. He went back to fix his job and stuff. And also I went back and we met in July. We started from Slovakia because he had the cheapest flight to Slovakia. So we started in Slovakia, what is Central Europe. And we followed first Carpathian Mountains. And then over Balkan, we reached Greece, after that Turkey. And we had a lot of problems because we didn't know each other. And it's really hard to stay all day together, sleep in one tent and different cultures, language barrier. And we had very hard time. And in the end, we broke up in he left me. And he's still in Turkey. He got married there and he's now traveling with his wife by bicycle or just walking. So it's good for him. It was good for me as well. And it was in the beginning of 2012. And I was alone in Turkey, and it was like, should I continue? Or actually, I didn't think to go back, but all my friends, they send me even flight tickets to go back. Like, are you crazy? You're going to cycle alone. You're a woman. There is Muslim country. There are a lot of stereotypes. I'm from Balkan, and we are very patriarchal area still. I told them that was my dream before I met Brian. If I lost Brian, I don't want to lose my dream. That's only my dream. It doesn't matter. Is it Brian or I don't know, Peter or Mark or whoever?
Doesn't matter.
And
doesn't matter.
But that was very hard because I started with $6 a day. That was my budget for first year. And that was really, really hard. Don't ask me how I survived.
These are my questions. Like, how do you survive and how do you budget? You started out with €6.
Yeah. I rented my apartment. I have an apartment in Belgrade. And that was after economic crisis, 29. All prices were very, very, very low. I couldn't rent for higher price. And that was really hard. But okay, I never was really hungry. Sometimes I didn't have enough to eat, but I wasn't hungry. I couldn't pay for any accommodation. I didn't have that comfort. I slept, I think, all that time only in tent, or if someone hosts me on couch surfing or warm shower, what is community for cyclotourists. And in that time, it wasn't yet 3G or 4G. It was really hard for me to find Wi-Fi, and because I couldn't pay for hotel. And then I go somewhere to some cafe or restaurant and order one coffee or one tea. And I was sitting like 2-3 hours to put my blog, to write blog. I didn't have electricity in that time. It wasn't yet like solar panels, very, very limited in that time. Or bugging people in hotel who are working there. Oh, please allow me.
Can I steal your Wi-Fi?
And that was, but okay. And somewhere after first year, thanks to, because I have my own blog, but also I put on the biggest Serbian portal mostly for people who live abroad. So they're well-situated people, and usually they're very successful people. And they followed me. And since we are a very small country, and I'm the first one who did something big, so it's big advantage for me. In one hand, it's very hard because I couldn't find any sponsor. I don't have, after 11 years, I don't have sponsors. But on another hand, it was good because nobody before me, if I'm from Germany, there are plenty of people, bunch of people are doing that. So nobody cared for that. But a lot of people follows me. And then one guy, he lives in London. And he's IT like freak. He made one portal and he offered me to write travel stories for his portal. His daughter translated that and they paid me that. That was really like, wow. First time I could travel with enough money, and that last 2 years. And then he sold out that portal. But in meantime, I start writing I publish some books. I'm writer. I'm professor of world literature and language. And they published 2 books in my previous life. What they used to say, previous life.
In the biography, it says teacher of literature, writer, adventurer. So that's where the writing comes in. Right?
That was actually my idea, because last 10 years before I set off my bicycle, I've been working in insurance companies. I've been working in some jobs. They don't have anything with me because we had very, very hard situation. In Serbia, we had civil war before, in Yugoslavia, economical sanctions, bombing and stuff like that. So I couldn't survive as a teacher. And then I started changing jobs, and I ended in insurance companies and in the beginning seller. And with time, of course, I just... I become like manager or something. It was a challenge for me just to see what I can do, but it's absolutely another galaxy. And with time, I realized what I'm doing here. Okay, I have good salary, I have cars, I have like banking account, I have laptop, but what with that? That's not me. What I wanted all my life is since I was kid, I wanted to live free. I imagine actually to live somewhere in the mountain, in some wooden house and isolate from the world, to write my books. And only when I finish some book, when I publish it, then to go to the city to meet with readers.
You're a hermit, you work on yourself, and then you go to share the health and the wisdom with the others.
Kind of that. And also I wanted to be like independent, to don't belong to any system. I'm like kind of self-will outsider. I choose to be outsider in good meaning, to don't be part of any system or to be part like only what is necessary. This way it's turned out after, let's say, after maybe 1 year and a half on the road. I remember that moment very well. I forgot where I was in that time, but I remember that moment. I had some problem with bicycle. I remember that, and they couldn't fix it. But anyway, I felt like very happy. And then I realized that I'm happier than ever in my life. And then I asked myself, okay, if you are so happy, why you don't continue doing this? And till you feel that. And then it's turned in that moment, I decide, okay, there is no more plans to cycle the world, to make that circle, to make, 40,000 kilometers and go back. No, I will just continue. I will stay on the road as far as I want, as I wish. So that's happening. And still, okay, I'm not all the time. I don't cycle all the time. First 3 years and a half, I cycle all the time. But then I realized, of course, you cannot live in that way. You have sometimes to stop somewhere because we have both that sides in us. We have like that nomad in ourselves, and we also have that someone who wants to settle down, to have some roots. And then I stop every time when I wanted to write a new book. Then I choose some country with good visa rules so I can stay longer, like 6 months, and very cheap. Then I am working like all day long, like writing. And that was till 2019. In 2020, I came to Latin America. First time I changed how I am earning money. I made membership for my blog. People who want to read my articles, they pay €1 a month, what is nothing. They love reading me and they want to support me as well.
You started a blog and people can subscribe. How many followers do you have currently?
I'm not sure about the right number. Maybe it's usually between 500 and 700, but it's not always enough. But I have another comes like from my apartment, but is now more than when I started. Then I have Patreon for my vlogs, YouTube. And it's also, and then I have some people, I have one woman, she lives in Chicago. She donates me every month, and with some amount, she wants to do that till I'm on the road. They have some people who are doing that like once in a while, or some of them like every 2-3 months, or just when they feel that I need some help or something.
Obviously, I think it's very positive that people want to support you.
Usually they write me, they love my stories, and it's like my stories, they touch them and they find inspiration. Mostly women follows me, inspiration for their ordinary life and for their problems. And always very hard when they think, how is Snezana now is crossing like Atacama Desert, and she never complains. She sleep on -10 or something like that. So I could do that. A lot of people, they told me that I inspire them to change something in their lives, to do something nice for themselves. Thank you for inviting me.
What can we say here? Global nomad, traveling by herself, many adventures. We'll have an extra special episode for November 10, our birthdays. So listen again, November 10, where the cyclo-nomad is. Take it from the Iron Woman. We have episodes every Monday or more with interesting people. We can ask many questions and we can follow their journey. And Take It from the Iron Woman is also a book, Global Business Coaching with Sports Parallel.